All right, so here are some moves for when you haven't been swimming as much and you need to keep those hips good so your back doesn't hurt. Kind of the vibe that I'm going off of. So this is the first one that I was thinking about. So get over here, get down on the ground, and you lift your hips up with one leg. Kind of twist it. Lift one leg, kind of twist it a little bit. It might be easier if you actually just leave one leg a little bit lower down, but as long as you're lifting your hips, or actually better, even better, if you just do a couple rotations of doing this, moving your hips like that, and then going down to the ground, lifting your feet up, doing something like this, even better, if you can do a couple of these, this will simulate the thing that you do when you're swimming, in a sense. You can also do some kicks down to the ground, which is going to be tight for your core. It's not going to do much for your back, but because it's all connected, your core is always going to make your back feel better, because if your core is tight, your back's going where it should. So, I know you don't like this one because it looks like you're praying to no one, but this is one of the better things to do. Eventually, you get down into this position, but first, before you do that, in most yogas I've noticed, you arch your back in, and they call that cow, I think, and then cat is like this, because cats do this when they're scared. So you want to lift that bottom part of your back as much as you can. It's going to be more of the top, is what it's going to look like. So, in, take a deep breath, and as you exhale, you do one of these. You should feel it kind of like in your core as you do it. As you exhale, and you kind of just want to drop yourself back and feel that stretch in your back. Feel it. After you do like 3 or 4 of those back things, in and out. And you want to just get down and drop your feet back. You see my feet? They're right here. You drop your feet back. It's better barefoot probably. And then you just kind of slowly go. If you go from the position we were in, from here and doing the cat, and then you do the stretch, you feel it so much more. And then from there, you just kind of go as deep as you feel that you can. I like to put my head onto the ground when I do it, and stretch my arms out as far as I feel comfortable doing. And sometimes that gives me a good back stretch, sometimes it doesn't. But a lot of times this position, you just have your knees down in, or your elbows down in, you can really feel a good stretch in your back. But by far, when my back hurts, this is my favorite, is to just try to touch my toes and just lift my ass off the ground from doing that. Just pull it back as far as I can. It'll be a crazy stretch in your hands and all of this. If you can even grab your toes like this, you can have your knees bent a little bit, so that's also what makes it easier. But I get the ultimate when I grab my feet and then I lift my butt off the ground, because I feel it stretch it nice and good back here, because you're pulling that weight off, and you're also separating a little bit of the discs going on there. And if you can do one of these, I do this in bed all the time. And you put your foot here, and your left foot to your left, and your left foot to your right, and your left foot back here, just kind of on the ground laying like this, and then you do that again the other way. I've also come up with this cool method of doing this. When you do these wide angles, you can feel it in your back actually helping a lot. So just actually going from here, just kind of having your knees a little bit shoulder length apart, just kind of lifting off. If you can get a good position doing that, you can even have your foot on the ground. You don't have to lift off all the way. But if you get this shoulder back here, you'll feel it down here, and as these hips stay kind of centered. And you can do it the other way as well. Even with my foot down, if I'm having trouble balancing, it's good. But if you get that angle and that stretch with your shoulder and your arm, you should feel it. You can straighten this leg out, bring it back a little bit. That might cramp you, but careful. So yeah, it's all about that. And I learned this thing, it's called Happy Baby. It goes like this. And you have your arms inside your knees. And you lift back. And you kind of go side to side. And your leg will stop you with your arm combined. And you just kind of do that a little bit. And it kind of massages your back / really loosens out those hips a little bit. Remember, just try to do a couple of these. These will help a lot. You can feel it. And one thing that's really good for your back is pulling off one of these if you can. But you only have to do it for a second. You don't have to do it for a long amount of time because it will make your back cramp if you're not used to doing that. And then of course, you know, the main one, take a deep breath in with your arms up, stretch the sky, exhale slow. Just let that back fall. And I go into a shoulder cross like this. My neck is still facing up, and I loosen out even more as I breathe out. Tuck my chin into my chest, and I feel my whole upper body right now stretching down into my lower body as I do that. Neck down to chin. Hold that there. Let this drop for a second. Take a deep breath in. Reach up to the sky. Exhale one more time. Just feel that stretch, kind of knead the ground a little bit. Feel it. If you can only get this far, that's okay. Don't bend your knees, because that's not going to be beneficial for this. And then another really good stretch is just having your back arched, keeping your legs straight, just slowly going down until you feel the tension here. That's just really good for you. And it always makes me feel really good, and it's like the ultimate stretch for your legs. And I'm sure you already know this one, this one, this one, this one, but this one's really important because this will help your back too. And you can turn out. Oh yeah, I feel it all here, but then I also feel it down here too. But do whatever feels best for you as well. And this always helps with my back too. Doing these, just kind of going like that. Feeling the crack burn. And yeah, if I put my right arm into my left and this, and I tighten my core, I can feel like my back getting where it's supposed to be. And I can also, as I tighten my core, when I straighten out and I'm rigid again and I'm still tightening my core, I do just a little twisting motion like this, nice and slow, and I go back to the straight, and then I go slowly to the left, and I just feel it really good. And then the technique that my friend showed me is to really throw your leg out and then pull your upper body all the way this way and this side all the way this way. And you can also do that on the ground, which I learned thinking back now. You put your knees like this leg kind of more straight, and you take it back. Oh, and then you put this hand either to the side or out away from you. And you just push that knee out. But if you do this more harder, like towards your body, with your foot towards your body, and then you do it, you're gonna get a little bit more out of it. Or against your leg. Yeah, that'll help. And that'll stretch your glutes out really hard. But also, if you adjust your leg to different ways when you do these stretches, you'll feel different parts of your lower back getting stretched and different parts of your butt and stuff getting stretched. So I hope that was helpful. That concludes this 9-minute and 42-second video of me just trying to help this poor girl that's been not swimming because it's so cold.